Some of you are very uneducated about how disgusting the world is, and it shows. Let me educate you on something because you might not be aware of this. So, in 1970, Ford made a vehicle called the Pinto, and there was a very significant defect in the Pinto where the gas tank for the vehicle was in the trunk. If another vehicle hit the rear of this vehicle at 25 miles an hour or greater, the car would explode. This is real. This is not fiction. This is whatever. This is a real thing. So this is just a video, just giving you an example. The car would literally burst into flames. And Ford knew this was a thing. For $11, Ford had the opportunity to fix this defect in every vehicle, in every Ford Pinto. So it would have cost them $11 per car. Ford runs a cost-risk analysis. So they determine what is the cost of human life, what is the cost of insurance, what is the cost of our reputation, versus $11 for us to fix it on each Pinto. And Ford determined that it was going to be cheaper to just let it go. Just run with it. We're going to launch this vehicle knowing that if somebody hits the rear of it at 25 miles an hour, it's going to explode. And people died. This is a real thing. I encourage you to look this up about the Ford Pinto. It is a massive economic and ethical concern that the business chose money and profits over human life, knowing that people were going to die from this vehicle. The thing of it is, it's 2023. Ford is still around. Some of you probably don't even know this was a thing. And their cost-risk analysis from a money standpoint, so please don't put anything in the comments right now that I don't care about people. From a money standpoint, their cost-risk analysis was correct. Now we cut to 2023. I'll tell you what, my man here, he spits bars. So I'm just going to let him go. I'm going to let him speak on this situation.
We in that field. I'm kind of hot right now, too. I'm kind of hot because we do this every freaking time something happened on this field. Everybody want to pivot and act like I done heard people talking about, just the mental health of the players. And, yeah, you could die. They don't even know they could die out here. We sit here and talk about this stuff every single time. Schedule remakes, how we going to make it up, what the league feels about it. I don't give a damn what the league feels about it. Let's keep it real. Why we don't talk about the stuff that matter? This young man, you want to know how what this you need to know about him? He's 24 years old, right? He got a contract for $160,000. That's his bonus. And he earns $825,000 this year. You say, G. Bush, why are you talking about this man's money? Because guess what? He's been in the league 2 years. That means he's not vested. That means if he never plays another down in his life, he don't get another check for the NFL. Let's be clear about this. You got to play 3 to 4 years before you even sniff a pension. So all this heartwarming and prayers and condolences don't do nothing for that boy's mom that got to go home, look at her son, and he might need extensive care for the rest of his life. And you know what the NFL will tell you? Well, we'll look out for the people like him. No, you won't. No, you won't. Let's talk about the disability policy.
It's the modern day Ford Pinto.
Right? They moved it from $22,000 a month to $4,000 in the last collective bargaining agreement. Did you know that the NFL...
By the way, I hate to cut this off in the middle. I love this guy's paper. It is so funny to me. It's like, it literally looks like he crammed for, you can see his notes. You can literally see notes on the back of this. He crammed for the test. He forgot his cheat sheet was in his back pocket. So this crumpled 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, this man whipped out a number 2 pencil and just spit bars for 5 minutes.
As a private board that reviews all aspects with their doctors and with their neurologists and their specialists, they can deny benefits even if Social Security deems you to be permanently disabled. The league can come back and then say, the government is they're experts, but let's take it over so we don't pay anything out. Only 15% get approved by Social Security. The league says that number should be lower. Get that. 15% of the people who apply for disability in this country, I know, I was a disability expert. It's very low. I submitted over almost 250,000 applications in 1 year one time. I know. Since the CTE settlement, only 6.5% of the settlement has been paid, according to the admin's website. I looked it up yesterday. And 60% of the claims have a qualifying diagnosis but have not been paid. Let's talk about this. They're also moving the pension. And that pension, he got to make it to 55. He's 24. And they've moved that between $3,000. They moved it down to $3,000 when it was $5,600 a month. And the last stat that you should know about is the Bills owner Terry Pagula owns the Sabres as well as the Buffalo Bills, and his net worth is $6.7 billion. My question to you is, NFL, when do salaries become guaranteed? If you know these young men are going out there and they could die on that football field, I don't give a damn what your thoughts and prayers are. Do the right thing. I just heard Aditi say it 7 times.
Is this not the modern day Ford Pinto? This is literally it. This is literally, by definition, business ethics 101. The NFL has run a cost risk analysis, and they have determined that, and please, Damar Hamlin, what we have heard at this point, he is doing better. We don't know the official status as of this video. For the love of God, please get better and please get healthy. That is number one. This video is just strictly talking about business ethics and how some of these decisions get made. But the NFL runs a cost risk analysis. The NFL looks at CTE with the players. They look at concussions. They look at reputation risk. They look at potential death. They look at potential injuries. They look at countersuits. They look at lawsuits. They look at everything else. And they compare that to the stacks and stacks and stacks of millions and billions of dollars of revenue that they're earning. And they say, is it worth it for us to help these players? And so far, the answer is no to this man's point. And I think he's bringing he's making a good point about it.
This is a savage sport. Men are dying every week. And you covered that up during CTE, and now you want to act like you the top of the food chain because you got the CPR people on the field on time? That's the least you should do. You're not gonna pay that man's you're not gonna pay that man's tuition for his kids. You're not gonna give him no disability money. You gonna do nothing. All you do is collect them big checks, and we go play fantasy footballs, and I hear these dudes' thoughts and prayers for a whole damn 2 hours. Y'all don't care about them kids. These young black kids is putting on the line. And you telling them what they put on the line ain't worth it because you know why? Because you don't want to pay for somebody that's broken and battered and can't take care of themselves because it costs you money.
Yep.
So it is all about money. And I heard nobody talking about no contracts. And they sitting up here cashing these checks. We worship these owners. They do anything they want to. Anything. And as long as the product is good, we salute it. I'm pissed off today because ain't nobody talking about the real stuff. There's people out there, players are saying they just want to wait for us to die. I like the NFL just like the rest of y'all, but I'll be damned if I'm going to sit up there and pat Roger Goodell on the back for running this organization the way he does. They run it like a criminal organization. Sick of it. I'm tired of that, man. I just had to get that off my chest because all this stuff, you ain't talked about what this boy gonna go through. This kid could be damaged the rest of his life. And we talk about making up games. Care about making up no damn football games.
So there you have it, right? And that's a hot take, and I respect this man's stance on this. I really do. I think he says a lot of really, really valid thoughts, and that's the argument, right? Is like business ethics, profitability versus the cost of human life. Like, why are we even considering this as a decision? So then we get to Skip Bayless, right? And Skip Bayless drops a tweet, and we all know Skip Bayless is kind of a twat. It's part of the gimmick. It's part of the show. He says, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly feels so irrelevant. And you get a bunch of backlash about it. This is the most inconsiderate thing you could have said. We are human beings, not just numbers. I hope they fire you. You have to be the worst person ever, etc., right? The backlash is is pretty strong here. Here's the thing. I don't like Skip Bayless. I'm not a big fan of the gimmick and everything else. I think we blew this one out of proportion a little bit because I feel like he's just kind of taking like a hypothetical stance, and he clearly says in here the game seems irrelevant at this point, right? Like the health of Damar Hamlin is the priority, and he did follow up with a tweet on that. So I think what he's trying to say here is the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how do you do it? This late in the season, crucial, but like it doesn't matter. So how do you postpone this game? That's kind of the tone that I read for it. And then you get a reaction from one of his colleagues here, and whether this was scripted or not,
I'm not going to take it down.
I don't really know, but
Shannon, I understand you have something you want to share this morning.
Good morning, yes.
Morning.
There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought,
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up.
it kind of feels scripted to me. I'm not going to lie. It feels scripted. I think the big giveaway for me.
And hopefully Skip would take it down. But
immediately cut to Skip, right? You see how the camera just immediately kind of pans over. So we're talking, he should take it down. Oh, what does he have to say about that? Like, why are they even expecting a reaction here, right?
Take it down.
But so to me, it's
time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip's kind of like a bad actor, in my opinion.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
So just kind of look at his face
I cannot
here,
even
right?
get through a monologue without you interrupting me. You could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought,
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin.
Like, who does that? You see how he, like. It seems very
situation where Damar Hamlin
over dramatic.
We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue.
It seems dramatic. I don't know. I don't defend Skip Bayless at all. I don't like the guy in particular. I think this tweet was not. I think it was blown a little bit out of proportion, and I don't think that was the intent of what he was trying to say.